Soundstripe.
Welcome to South End Supporters, a St. Louis City SC podcast powered by Ready to Live Wellness and coming at you from the Warrior Logo Wear studio. David Heck alongside the Monday morning center back Dave Wykoff and Eric Cole. Our second episode of the week, gents, as we will get into the STL Kalachi Match Week preview and bring it home with Felix's Pizza Pub South End submissions. Both amazing food items sponsoring programs here or segments on this fine program. Shocking, I know, that the three of us would have delicious food as sponsors here on a Thursday. How are we doing today?
We're hungry. Well, you know, the first episode we work out and we train with Ready to Live Wellness and
it's
Elite
so
FG,
healthy.
And then we come over here and we hang out at Felix's and STL Kalachi.
And the great thing is like as our bodies shift because we're exercising on Tuesdays and then Thursdays, we're stuffing our fat faces. The Warrior Logo Wear is always going to be there to just help us fluctuate in size for our T-shirts. So whether it's medium day or it's XL day, they've got us covered.
That's
Have
right.
you seen those? They're not new, but it's like menswear now. That's like they're like the form shaping like tank tops.
Oh yeah,
I've been seeing them a lot on. I don't know. I'm getting harassed by Instagram.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, you're going to get even more harassed. I bet you open your phone up tonight and you got some men's Spanx.
I think they know. I think they know what I've been searching. But yeah, can we get Warrior Logo Wear to make some special branded SES like spandex girdles just to suck it in a little bit? No.
How's your girdle game, Dave? Is it non-existent at this point?
It's non-existent. It's becoming less and less of a need. I think that's the goal. I think is to not need a girdle or man spanks.
Yeah.
To be able to bend over and tie your own shoes without passing out would be a good life goal.
Eric, we've been doing this show for almost 3 years now. Is this the first time we've talked about man spanks?
I believe so.
That's unfortunate.
I've been finding a lot this year that there's been first-time conversations popping up. Reddit is very much to blame for most of that. But I would
feel
say
like there's a large demographic that wants to know more about man spanks that may or may not listen to this show. And you're welcome.
Yeah, what's the Kardashian brand that now sponsors the NBA? And it's like Spanx.
Skims,
like,
right?
Skims,
Skims?
yeah. They sponsor the NBA now. So
do they really?
I know, and I know a lot of people always thought that for a while all the players on City were wearing sports bras. So I'm still not convinced that they're not designed for some support.
Eric, do you think the gentleman next to you at the game on Sunday could have used some shapewear?
He could have used a little Warrior Logo Wear Spanx, that's for sure.
I think he could have used some bleach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Bleach
it.
him.
Well, one thing that all people of all sizes can agree on is that kolaches are delicious.
They can.
And
they do.
STL Kalachi at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in Sunset Hills brings you the match week preview, Dave, as Vancouver is coming to town.
Yeah, Vancouver is coming to town, and they're bringing their #1 record and their Supporters Shield leading team, and they're coming off a 5-1 victory where Brian White, their superstar goal scorer, all-world, who actually made his United States debut a couple weeks ago, he's feeling it. He's feeling pretty good. But yes, that match week 8 preview brought to you by St. Louis Kalachi in Sunset Hills, home of the original chicken enchilada kolache. This week's Good Friday. You got your last chance to get the Crab Rangoon kolache. So head to St. Louis Kalachi in Sunset Hills, 1530 South Kirkwood Road, at the intersection of Kirkwood Road and Watson next to Highway 44. I did find some irony on the Tuesday show. David talked about Eric going to Ready to Live Wellness to de-stress and relax. And I feel like I could go and de-stress and relax better at STL Kalachi in Sunset Hills.
You could.
You
know what's so great, too? It's like it's already there. So, I mean, you're in and out, right? It's like you don't have, it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Going to a place, you got to wait in line, and, you've got somebody. You ever go to a Subway, Dave? You ever go to a Subway
It's
and
been
you
a
get
minute.
behind somebody?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
You ever get behind somebody that's got like an order for their entire office and they're reading it off of a phone or a piece of
there's
paper?
nothing
And it takes
worse.
forever.
Nothing worse.
You don't have to worry about that at STL Kalachi. You're in and out. You can get a dozen kolaches and be back on the road in a couple of minutes' time.
Yep.
No
So
problem.
go see our buddy EC in Sunset Hills. Scores goals, makes kolaches.
Yeah,
Warrior FC on a 2-game winning streak, Cole, and you haven't been there. Just saying. Vancouver 6-1-1, top in the West. They're coming to town. They've scored 17 goals and they've only given up 6. This is a really impressive team, guys. They play defense really well and they score a lot of goals. So they're number 1 in the league in goals per match at 2.1, and they're tied with City, the Crew, at 0.8 goals conceded per match. They are second in the league in total expected XG, first in the league in shots on target per match, and they are 30th in the league in XG conceded and only 7.1 XG conceded. So what does that tell us? They create a ton of chances, they put their shots on target, and they don't allow a ton of chances. So it's not going to get any easier coming off of playing the best team in the East and really taking them to the brink. City gave them all they could handle, had some chances to draw in that game, had some chances to potentially win that game. So, but this is going to be a little bit different of an animal. Vancouver is a lot more dynamic, like I said, led by Brian White and his 6 goals. I think somebody that on this team that kind of worries me a little bit more than White, just because City is kind of lacking for pace on the defensive end, is Jaden Nelson. Jaden Nelson had a game earlier this year where he had, against Portland, this was in February, this might have been the first weekend of the season, he had 3 assists and a goal in 62 minutes of play. It was one of the most phenomenal performances I've seen in my short time watching the MLS. He's got pace for days. He can finish. He puts in some really good crosses. So, yeah, you're really going to have to watch out for him. They've also got like Sebastian Berhalter, and he can't be that much of a winner with that last name, so I'm not super worried about him. But yeah, this is going to be a tough test, man. I have a really,
I don't know. Look, 6 goals for Brian White, that's impressive. But I mean, City scored 5. That's almost as many.
It is.
So
you're
it's,
right.
It's not
5 is almost as many as 6. That's math. That is
right.
That is public school math. The problem being that City have only scored 2 goals in their last 5 games.
Yeah, the problem also is that this is one individual we're talking about versus
one
an entire
player.
team.
Yes.
So I said it a little facetiously, Dave.
Yes. So
one thing I find really interesting, because you know what's going to go here as I pull up my DraftKings app, and I'm not sure what FanDuel says, but I bet you have the answer for me, Dave. I see that Vancouver is an underdog in this game at Citypark, and it's fairly comfortable.
Wasn't Columbus an underdog too?
Yeah, but it was really slight. So like when
this one is bigger.
Yeah. When the kick, when at least on DraftKings, I'm curious to get the FanDuel lines here. When kickoff took place, City was like a minus 120 on the draw no bet option. So if you were just betting a 2-way money line with no draw option, City was like a minus 120 and Columbus was like a minus 105. So both of them were like minus odds. Right now, Vancouver's a plus 115 on DraftKings. A plus 115. The best team in the league.
It gets juicier on FanDuel.
That's crazy. It always does, by the way.
Plus 126.
126.
Yes.
Vancouver scored 17 goals this year. They've only given up 6. City scored 5, right? Like, that's crazy.
They're a 2-1 underdog in the 3-way bet.
Yeah, I got him at plus 190.
Plus 200 in the 3-way bet.
That's nuts, dude. That is so nuts.
I'm not going to say that the emotional hedge worked last week, but I wasn't super unhappy after the game was over.
I didn't bet it because I lost all my money on the Battlehawks game before that. I wish I were kidding. I wish I were kidding.
Did you try to parlay? Did you try to do it? You could have done. You could have done a 3 St. Louis team parlay.
Yeah. I know. I didn't think about it until just now, Dave. That would have been a good idea. That would have been
incredible.
I would have probably lost them all.
Another interesting little prop here, and I don't know if there's something to this, or again, if this is another chance to emotionally hedge. Team to score the first goal. City is favored, minus 135 to score the first goal. Vancouver plus 115.
If I have that on here.
That's interesting to me. I feel like that's that's got Vancouver written all over it. Actually, to tell you the truth, because I don't think that this game is going to be as open as the Columbus game is. I think Vancouver's going to really put the pressure on offensively and try to run at the defense with pace and try to end it early. You know, we always talk about how you got to put teams that aren't as good as you away early, not leave them in the game. I think Vancouver's gonna try to do that. I think they're gonna try to end them early on the road. So,
they it's funny, like, boy, they run a 4-3-3, and it really just seems like they just, with whether it's Sabi, Nelson, or even Ahmad, they're the like outside wingers, I guess you could say, in the top three, and it's just like those guys with pace trying to find Brian White in the box. And like, to your point, like I'm curious, like, to see how much, like, does he get the full run? Does he get a little rest? Like, because he had 4 goals in that last game. Like, do they almost overlook City and like give him a little break? But that's where it comes down to. And like you said, it's going to be really shutting down the wings. I think if we can shut down the wingers, whoever they start in that, like the outside wingers, it's going to be tough because they do bring pace. Brian White is just a clinical finisher as far as when it comes to MLS. Like, he doesn't miss if you give him a chance. So my worry is with City is they sometimes have lost track of like the guys up top, and then when they find that space, they finish you off. Look at Rossi last week against Columbus. You got to keep track of Brian White, but you have to shut down the wing play when they're coming forward. Berhalter's going to take a lot of set pieces. Only loss on the year was with Chicago, and what Chicago did was, and it'll be interesting to see if like Olaf watches this or looks at this in any way, was they pressed and made the defense made mistakes, and then they countered and finished off on those chances. Like, their defense is very strong, but it seemed like the only time they've been vulnerable is when you press their defense in a unison, and then you would counter on like a odd man counter. So like, I don't know if Olaf's going to look at that, but I hope he does, just to see like this may be the one chance you get to break down this Vancouver team.
If there's anything that we know so far is that we don't know a damn thing about anything that we ever talk about. So my prediction,
one of us on the show predicted the score.
2-1. Eric Cole. Eric Cole predicted it. I knew that. I said,
okay, hot shot. Do it again.
Good for you.
Do it again, big man. Call in.
I don't know anything about Asian handicaps, Dave, but I know that Vancouver is a plus 170 for a minus 0.25. So that sounds interesting there as well.
It certainly sounds like a bet.
Who is that? Spursy that knows about the Asian? Who isn't?
No,
Spursy.
that was
Spursy started
Spursy, but it was a Redditor. It was oh my goodness.
Spursy started it, and when we said we were confused about it, the Reddit user came in and tried to explain it to us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to need somebody to explain what minus 0.25 means, because at a plus 170, I like it. I like it.
You guys emotional hedge where you bet maybe the result, but then like you go in favor of like corners and like offshoot bets to like feel like you're not fully betting against City. Like,
I haven't bet corners in a long time, Eric, because as I said last week, they're on to me, right? And
it's almost as if you bragged about it and told people to do it if they were idiots if they didn't on a certain podcast show for a year.
I know. That's what happened. And now you can't bet them anymore. They're too high. They're just too high. I didn't look and see how many corners there were last week. It's not even worth looking at anymore. They're always going to be like 9.5 or 10.5 or some big number like that. And I mean, they could get there, but it's unrealistic. So I think I'm going to have to start going the other way and driving the line down. I'm going to drive it back to the norm. That's what I've got to do.
I was dying, though, when Dave texted in our group when we saw that McSorley and Joyner were getting call-ups. He was like, get your McSorley bets ready.
You know, it's funny.
That one guy there was like, I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah. He wasn't even listed on there to have odds to score.
You're kidding me.
No, he was not.
They're trolling us.
He was not. And God, I can't remember who it was, but there was another name on that list that for sure wasn't in uniform. I'm not even sure.
Maybe
it was Caden Glover.
Yeah.
It was Caden Glover.
Put him on there all the time.
He was on there, but they didn't have McSorley. I'm like, this is the one time you could put him on.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Nobody's watching these games at DraftKings.
No. Nobody's watching these games for DraftKings, and nobody on this show knows how to predict scores other than Eric Cole. I swung and missed again last week. So emotional hedge this week. I don't know that there's going to be the opportunity for City to jump out So I'm going with a 2-0 Vancouver win this week.
I'm going to take 2-1 Vancouver here, and I'm going to say they just barely cover the minus 0.25 Asian handicap. I think 2-1 would get it there. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going to say.
We'll just say it will.
2-1, and they cover on minus 0.25 Asian handicap.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go based on starting 11. If we go same starting 11, which I'm assuming minus Yarrow, but especially if we see Leuven back in the lineup, I doubt it. I haven't seen anything on
There's
him.
no
He would have
reason
been
to
training.
expect it at this point.
I don't think he would be. But I think if we go same starting 11, I'm just going to be super optimistic just to throw it off. I'm going to go 2-2. But I'm having a real strong feeling that it's going to be another 2-1 loss. I don't think it's going to be we catch Vancouver out early. I think it'll be where they get us early. They've been scoring early a lot throughout this year. So I think they'll get one early. I'm hoping we pick one back up, but I just think it'll be a deal where we'll pick one back up. Olaf will go back in that block, and Brian White's going to eventually find space and put one in. So I think it'll be a 2-1 loss.
That game takes place at 7:30, I should say, on April 19th. It'll be Saturday at Energizer/Citypark. So looking forward to that one and hopefully a better result. That was the match week preview. I think we did it in record time this week, by the way. Brought to you by STL Kolache at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in Sunset Hills. Dave, I have had one of the Crab Rangoon Kolaches, and they are certainly something to write home about. These are really, really good. All of them are great. I think I talked last week in the savory selection. My favorite is this St. Louis pizza kolache. I can't get it. I can't get enough of that thing. It's super good. And the more I eat these things, and I have had my fair share of these, probably more than I care to admit over the last few weeks. It's become kind of like a Saturday morning thing, to be honest with you, which has been bleeding over into Saturday afternoon, and sometimes we got a couple left over for Saturday evening as well, which I can't complain about in the moment. I think they're dippable. The more I think about
absolutely.
it, I think they're dippable.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the podcast before. I don't know what their thoughts are, like in the kolache community, because I'm just kind of like I'm not really involved in it, right? But like I do enjoy them. I think you can dip them. And I think you could dip them in a variety of sauces depending on the contents that are inside of the kolache.
Yeah. You can dip them, you can drizzle them, just as long as you dunk them in your mouth.
I feel like the kolache community would be like the hot dog community, where like some are like, yeah, put whatever you want on a hot dog, but others would be like, if you dare put ketchup on a hot dog, you're just an idiot.
Do you think?
I think there's probably.
I think every group has somebody that is like,
yes,
every
safe
group
to say.
they're out there. There's some kolache purists out there.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like the kolache community might have a little more palate sophistication than the hot dog community, and I count myself in both of these communities. By the way, I am pro tubed meat. I am pro meat stuffed in a roll. But yeah, I could see the two groups getting really at loggerheads about the purity of the way that each food item is served.
Maybe let's see if there's a kolache subreddit out there. We can get some intel on that. That'd be good homework for you, Dave, or maybe do it even on the fly here. But
I'll work on that. You guys work through the live reads.
STL Kolache at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in Sunset Hills. We move from there to Felix's Pizza Pub South End Submissions. I haven't been to Felix's, Eric, in far too long. It's been too long. We need to have a watch party. I know we've talked about it. Carmen messaged just not that long ago. The other day talking about a watch party. It sounds like she might
I saw her at Citypark on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I saw that she was there.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Carmen in so long. Like the people at Felix's are so amazing. Great people always, and always a great place to watch a game. They are an official City on Tap bar this season. You can check out all the games, home or away, at 6401 Clayton Avenue in Dogtown. Eric, one of my favorite things about Felix's when it comes to watching a game there is, unlike some places that claim to be City on Tap bars, you get the audio when you go in. we've experienced this firsthand on the Illinois side of the river, and there may be places over here that do it, and that's great. Hey, whatever. Watch it where you want to watch it. I encourage you to go to Felix's. But when you go to Felix's, not are you going to get the award-winning pizza, the award-winning wings, right? The jalapeno ranch dressing, all the beers they've got, the drinks, the friendly service. You're going to get the sound. You're going to be able to watch the game with the audio. And there's nothing better than being in a bar amongst like-minded individuals, watching your team on the screen and having the audio play as well. It just adds that extra layer of ambiance.
And everybody there is a fan as well that works there. So it's just like, it's even cooler. Like, yeah, you can pause taking my order if you're going to yell at the TV. I'm down with that.
And you can bring a picture of your dog, and they'll put a picture of your dog on the wall. That is the
cool thing. I do love that. Yes. But
no, Felix's is great, and you cannot go wrong with any slice. We talk about it every week. That's the best place to go watch games. Again, if they are home or away, it doesn't matter. You don't have tickets, get over to Felix's Pizza Pub at 6401 Clayton Avenue in Dogtown. They bring you South in submissions every single week. And Eric, you are going to kick us off on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram before we get to the weirdos on Reddit.
That's right, and we'll keep it in the food era. We'll keep it in the food realm. We'll kick it off with someone special to this show, Kristen Cole, my wife.
Oh, I know
sister.
Her.
She said, no question, just a comment. Everyone do yourself a favor and get the chicken nuggets from Chicken Scratch and pay for the extra Chicken Scratch sauce. It's so good, like a pickly ranch. I practically licked the cups. I will attest to that. She cleaned those clean. And as everybody on this who listens to the show know, we are so pro chicken nugget, pro chicken tender around here. So it's great to hear that she enjoyed her food. Next, we'll go to the great American Jeff Thornborough. He said, well, it was a gorgeous day for a football match. The crowd was better than I expected for a Sunday, and we actually got to sit, which was very nice, but not as exciting. I have a love-hate relationship with standing. The flag was cool, a welcome addition to my garage wall, and Columbus had some fast players attacking. Mrs. Southgate had buttermilk chicken house mac from Farm Truck Mac, and it was very nice. Until the next match, the South State supporter and a great American, Jeff Thornborough.
All right, I want to unpack a couple of things there. Could you go back and read what the order was from Farm Truck?
Yes. So, again, I always associate Farm Truck, but this was Farm Truck Mac.
Yeah, there's a different place.
Spots in there. Yep. Yeah. She had the buttermilk chicken house mac.
God, that sounds good, dude.
So I've been seeing more and more pictures on the socials of people checking out that Farm Truck Mac of different, Now, did either of you, I don't remember who had it, ever have the brisket mac and cheese from somewhere in the park? I can't remember.
I've had brisket mac and cheese, but not in the park.
I think it was Farm Truck as well. But when they
I don't think Beast has that.
No, I think it was Farm Truck as well, but it was last year when it was their only spot in there, so maybe they moved it over. But yeah, man, their mac and cheese looks legit.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm a big mac and cheese guy, and I like putting different types of chicken in there as well. Buffalo chicken, but the buttermilk chicken thing, that sounds really good.
What was it? Peel had that buttermilk or that buffalo chicken mac and cheese that you used to steal from Scarlett all the time.
Yeah, dude, that's really
like
good.
She wants it, and it was like, okay.
That's really good. He continues to have a positive outlook on things. It's nice. It was a great day. Great day.
It was beautiful day. Yeah, it was definitely a beautiful day. I would. Unfortunately, but like he said, it was a little bit more exciting. I did notice it seemed like rewatching the game back, it looked like a lot more sitting throughout the stadium, like on the east side and that type of stuff. I know the south end, everybody was pretty much still standing, but it did look like I didn't notice it there. But rewatching it back, it did look like a lot of sitting. I'm
that's the other thing I wanted to unpack in that. I agree. I've kind of a love-hate relationship with it as well. One of the things, though, that I would complain about having to sit is that there's just not a lot of room. Not a lot of room in the seats. They're very narrow. I'm not like a huge individual. I'm like an average, a little above average size guy, I guess. If you were like a really big individual, like that would be hard, I think, to sit there. There's not a lot of room in those seats at all. So I don't mind standing because I think you have a little bit more space. I typically am not standing directly in front of my seat, it seems like. We all kind of, shift over a little bit, maybe towards the aisle. Maybe that's by design. I don't know. But it's not bad to sit every now and then. I know we've got the image, oh, we stand, this is what we do, but it's not the end of the world if people start sitting. And I think it's probably going to continue to wind down a little bit as things continue to progress. Eventually, we won't be standing anymore. That's my prediction.
I've said it all along, and we've said it all along on the show. Fan however you want to fan, man.
Yeah,
If you want to sit, you want to stand. Here's my reason I enjoy standing is to your point, I would almost rather there have been 20,000 seats in the stadium if there was a
Same.
little bit more room.
Little
Like
more
I would
room.
rather that shifted it out. But for me, like it's going to be just as much of a workout if I'm sitting and then I'm standing every exciting
Yeah.
play. Like I think for me, it's just easier to already be standing position from there. So
I typically do what the people in front of me do. That would be my typically
Oh, really?
how I do it. Like we were at the Battlehawks game on Sunday, and people in front of me were standing up. People behind me were sitting, and so I was conscious. Eric, I don't know if I'm a true empath, but I definitely make sure to take others' feelings and thoughts into consideration at all times. That's how I try and do it. And Dave knows this better than anybody. But as I'm doing that, knowing that I'm not going to be able to see if I sit down, I have to stand. I have to stay standing at that point. If they would have sat in front of me, and they did at times, then I would sit down, no problem, and the people behind me can see. But if they're standing in front of me, I can't sit. I have to stand. I need to be able to see as well, because even though I do really care about others, it is still a little bit about me.
well, for sure. I mean, you can't not watch the game because of that. What I
Exactly.
always would try, because we kind of do it anyway, is like this like side
Yeah, the
stand.
side
We're
thing.
more
Yeah, yeah,
facing, so
yeah.
like trying to leave like gaps in between us, and then if anybody was ever behind us sitting, I would always try and make sure beforehand, like, can you see? Okay, like try and give them like, hey, I'm gonna be standing, but can I do anything to help? We'll try and like adjust where who's standing where to maybe like let the shorter people stand in
Yeah,
front of the
yeah, yeah.
kids, like that type of stuff. But I think City Park's been pretty good as far as just not hammering home the we all must stand like
Right,
they
right,
were in
right.
the first year. I think everybody's a little bit more fan how you want to fan kind of, which I love to see.
Agreed.
Next, we'll go to our one of our favorites, Patty Brinson. She said, "Of course, the big question is, was Klaus offsides? My family all says no, he wasn't." I think Tuesday we kind of touched on it that we still just don't agree the fact that there's just not a camera angle for it. I don't know if we ever got a consensus across the three of us, but to me, looking at that foot and even from that angle, it just looks to me he was on. But at the end of the day, we'll never know, and
Yeah,
it'll
you
never
Yeah.
just,
matter.
it's a pointless exercise because the angle is so different. Even if you try to mentally draw the lines yourself, you're not going to come to any sort of conclusive. There's no conclusive view,
Yeah.
and particularly with the camera angle that was there with the Columbus player being behind a City player, you could kind of see their foot, but you don't know if that's the farthest body part that they could play the ball with forward. Like it's just kind of a pointless thing. We don't. I think in the moment he probably was onside. Like it appears to me that he was onside, but
It's
that
just one of
counts
those
for
things
nothing.
where if he was originally called onside, there's no way they could
Exactly. I
overturn
think you
it.
said that on Tuesday.
Yeah,
You said that on Tuesday. It's exactly right.
there's just no conclusive evidence one way or another. It sucks the way that it
Yep.
is, and at the end of the day, we need a different technology that's just more foolproof. And
Yep.
the MLS, as we talked on Tuesday, doesn't have it.
Tolman even brought up to that point, kind of, he was like, had it been called a goal on the field, it probably would have stayed with VAR. And then had it been called offside like it was, it probably would have just stayed there that way. That angle
It
I've seen many
underscores the
times and
importance. Go ahead, Eric.
understands
I'm
the
sorry.
importance of what.
No, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I was just going to say that camera angle that we did get from Apple, I don't know how many times I've watched a Premier League game and been like, oh, he's clearly on. And then they actually
Yeah.
give you the camera angle you need and been like, oh, yeah, he like
It just
that
what I was
is
going to
such a
say
deceiving
was
angle.
what I was going to say was it just underscores the importance of finishing chances when you get them. I mean, if
Yeah, yeah.
Betcher buries one of his two and Choo Choo buries his point blank one, then you don't have to worry about it. You don't leave it up to a 50-50 call. That's what we've been taught since we were kids, right? Like, don't leave it up to the refs, and then you don't have to worry about it. So
Yeah,
it
they
is
say
what it
that
is.
in UFC all the time. Don't leave it to the judges, and here, don't leave it to the human eye. Next, backed by popular demand from Ryan Cadlick, he's got a part 2 to the fast food mascot showdown. He said, will the king keep his crown from last week, or will Wendy get her revenge? Don't overthink the seeding. Classic 1v8, 2v7, 3v6, 4v5. Highest seed gets the lowest seed. So
Are there that many more fast food mascots? We've got to do this again.
So we've got, looks like 2 repeats. We've got a different contender from a last week's fast
Can I just say,
place.
I want one of these every week. Not just fast food. I want some sort of
these are so fun.
like super villains, foods, whatever. Like, give me a reason to rank combat.
We
like,
just want to rank things.
The most absurdly never would happen in the real world combat. Like, that's what we live for. Is just ridiculous crap like this.
You know what I challenge the listeners that have been very big South End slobs themselves throughout the park is try and, like, what we've talked about on the show, maybe give us a 1v8 their ranking, and we'll decide.
Some listener submitted content would be good.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. So, looks like at 1 we've got the repeat, the champ coming back, the king from Burger King. At the 2 seed, boy, she had a great year this year. Wendy is back this time. At the
it's
2
so
seed.
terrible. It's so terrible.
Just
go on. Go
You're
on.
making an ass of yourself.
McDonald's is back in the ring, but this time they're deciding to throw Ronald up on the in the ring instead. We've got Little Caesar's Little Caesar.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's a sneaky play.
We just brought a weapon in.
I know.
Yeah. We've got Frankie Man from Nathan's Hot Dogs, which I'll have to look that one up because I'm not totally sure.
What's it called?
Frankie Man from Nathan's Hot Dogs.
Frankie Man.
We've got, at the 6th seed, we've got Wada Guy from Whataburger. And the 7th seed, we got Big Boy from Big Boys. And at the 8th seed, we've got the Great Root Beer from A&W. So I'm going to have to look up the Great Root Beer from A&W. But here we go, kicking it off. The king at the 1 seed is taking on the Great Root Beer from A&W.
Oh, yeah. The Great Root Beer. I don't even... Why this? It's the king. It's the king.
Yeah, it's the king for sure.
Yeah.
I don't see this mascot for Nathan's. I
found
know.
him. He's a big old hot dog.
What's it called?
Is that the guy blowing the horn? Or who?
No, he's just a hot dog
With the hat on?
with a chef's hat and an apron. And he's got a heavyweight belt here, but I don't know who he beat for that heavyweight belt.
No, that's a hot dog eating contest belt, Dave. That's not a heavy. That's not a.
I mean, it's his belt. He's holding the belt.
Yeah, but he got eaten a lot for that.
This
belt.
isn't like professional wrestling where they just willy nilly give belts out. This guy earned his belt.
Don't ruin it for the kids, Dave.
Either way, the king is moving on.
Yeah, the king's taking down a Great Root Beer. A&W. It used to be an A&W in Edwardsville. I like that A&W. I like a nice root beer.
I do too. They put one
There's
in
still one.
Belleville. They made it out of an old bank.
Oh, nice.
You like drive
one
through
in
the tellers.
Collinsville. I think
Yeah,
I don't
it's like it's a combo something.
With
A&W
Long John
and-
Silver's, I think. I don't think that's still there. That's still there?
I don't know. I haven't
I don't
paid
think so.
attention.
That's a
I guess,
great
enough. I don't think
combination.
so. It's right next to that car wash place.
Dude, you could go through and get a cheeseburger and fried fish, like combo, you know? It's a crazy concept.
So next, we got the 2 seed Wendy taking on Big Boy. From
Big boy. Big boy. I want Wendy out of the competition.
So Big Boy's. See, you're not. This is so farcical of you to just not even analyze this. Big Boy's old. He's been around since the 50s.
He hasn't aged a day.
Where
looks
is
the
there a
same.
big? Where there are no Big Boys left anywhere in the northern hemisphere. You can
There was
check
one in
that.
Granite City years ago. You remember that?
That's
the old
that's
Shoney's
years
building.
ago. I'm telling you, nothing has changed about Wendy. She's still scrappy. She's still got no quit in her whatsoever. She takes out Bob's Big Boy. She takes that stupid tray and she smokes him over the head with it, out cold. Shut him down.
Did Dr. Evil go to space in a Wendy?
Well, Dr. Evil went to space in a couple different things,
did.
shapes.
But he did it in a big boy.
I mean, they probably couldn't afford to go in a Wendy because, so high dollar. So, yeah.
Eric, you're going to have to break the tie
again,
here.
not a contest. And this isn't a hard decision, Eric.
No.
When you think about it, it's not a hard decision. Do the right thing.
It's not. Unfortunately, I think she got a little cocky with her seating, and I think
This
Big
is
Boy
such garbage.
is coming
Yes.
back.
This is
here's
based
the-
on.
Yes.
You ever watched like I didn't watch a lot of it, but I remember this series. You ever watch Dragon Ball Z? And you remember that Majin Buu or whatever, the big pink guy who just had a big smile on his face, but he
Yes.
just destroyed everybody.
That's not Big Boy. Get out of here.
He's just sitting there with a smile on his face because every time you look at him, he just looks so innocent. And I just have a feeling like the second she came at him, he would just like
She would
quick
whip
thinking
out,
she's got one up on him, and he'd light her up.
It's just a joke. You guys.
Next, we've got
stupid.
the clown himself, Ronald McDonald, representing McDonald's, taking on Whata Guy from Whataburger.
We don't
It's
have
Ronald.
Whataburgers here,
It's
so I don't know
Ronald.
who Whata Guy is. But
Ronald's
I'll go
rangy.
with.
Ronald's
He is.
rangy.
He's long. He's long.
He's a dark horse to win this competition. Now that
Clowns,
you guys
man.
have,
Clowns are just like they have that
yeah,
psycho attachment to them. So
yeah.
I think Ronald McDonald has my vote on that.
This
one.
Whata Guy, dude. I don't know. I'm changing my vote. Have you guys looked at Whata Guy? He's a superhero.
Oh really? No,
He's got a cape and everything. I would
you're
go
going-
Whata Guy.
You're going. Oh, you're changing it. Whata Guy over Ronald.
Get a glimpse at this thing.
Oh, he looks like a bad MLS mascot.
He does look like a bad MLS mascot. That's a good call.
The problem is for me is the thing that popped up for me was What a Man by Salt and Pepper.
I know it happened to me too. Good song. Good song. All right, we'll take Ronald.
I'm not seeing him, so I'm gonna stick with my original with Ronald. And then our last first round matchup, we've got Little Caesars. Little Caesar taking on Frankie Man from Nathan's Hot Dog.
Oh, Little Caesar spears that stupid looking hot dog.
Yeah, I agree. I think those spears go through a hot dog instead of the pizza. Yep.
Yeah, hot dog.
So now, to me, I think this is going to be the biggest matchup that we'll see in the tournament. We've got the King taking on Big Boy.
I mean, the king. The king wins here.
I'm abstaining. I'm Raider. I'm the Raiders. I'm abstaining from voting on this because you guys
gotta vote.
Just no.
I just
The Raiders-
don't see anyone
the Raiders
beating
don't
the
vote.
king. I don't see anyone beating him. I don't see it.
I'm telling you, I feel like there's something behind that innocent smile that just is going to wreck people's world. I think I'm going Big Boy. I'm going Big Boy.
It's the
There's
king.
Something.
It's the king.
Dave goes
It's
king.
stupid.
The
Tie
King moves
broken.
on. We got Ronald McDonald taking on Little Caesars. This is a feisty one.
I'm going Little Caesar here. I think again the spear is going to come into play. Ronald, he is rangy. The Caesar himself is very very small.
He's very small.
I think Ronald's going to have a hard time making contact with him, right? Like Ronald needs somebody a little bit more his height to really land the jab effectively. I think Caesar bobs and weave. I think he stabs those clown shoes with that spear until Ronald drops and he's more his size.
Now
You
Ronald's
think he's
got
accurate with that spear?
I do. Yes, I do. In
Okay.
fact.
Ronald's got leg kicks though, and rather than those being
shoes,
leg kicks,
man.
they're going to be delivered shin on chin of Little Caesar. He's not going to matter with that spear when he's out cold. This is Ronald. This is Ronald in a first round KO.
Tiebreaker, Eric.
Thinking the first thing that the ref's going to hear when he's waking up Little Caesars from that roundhouse kick is pizza,
Ronald.
pizza. So Ronald is moving
Pizza,
on
pizza.
to our big matchup, finishing this one out. It's the King taking on Ronald McDonald. And what a battle
giants.
against Burger King and McDonald's.
That's what we want here, right?
That's
We
what the
don't
people
want.
want.
That's what the people.
That's
We
what
don't
the
want Wendy in this matchup.
Yeah.
We want heavyweights. That's what we got.
This is Francis and Bones.
Yeah.
This is what this
Agreed.
is.
Agreed.
Man, this is so wild. I don't. So Ronald had sort of an easy route to the championship. The King now has gone through two cutthroat fields. Man, but Ronald is this got just this range, and the king, his head is so big. Oh, I don't know, man. I
Here's the
think
question: is how's the footwork with those shoes? Like, is he used to it now that he still can move the footwork, or is that going to be a stumbling block for him as far as movement goes?
Well, here's what I've got, guys. I've ran this through ChatGPT. Give a little breakdown. The fighting style for Ronald: chaotic clown energy, probably unpredictable and slippery. Weapons consist of greasy fries, scalding hot coffee, maybe a Happy Meal toy as a distraction. He does have as allies being Grimace,
or you
the
can use
Hamburglar.
allies.
Yeah, the Grimace, the Hamburglar, and Birdie.
Oh,
Birdie,
man.
I don't
This is
know
a
Birdie.
tag team match. Oh,
And then the vibe is chaotic good-ish, but don't underestimate a clown in oversized shoes. Now, the Burger King, the king, right? Fighting style, silent and creepy. Could ambush with a whopper in hand. The weapons consist of a royal scepter. Dave, scepter? Am I saying that
Scepter.
right? Scepter.
Scepter.
Oh, my God, scepter. That's how you spell scepter? I didn't realize that. Probably ornamental, but could hurt. Mind games, eerie stares. Allies less obvious, maybe sneak attacks from the subservient chicken or a rogue Whopper Jr. His vibe is lawful neutral with slasher movie vibes. The location, neutral ground, maybe a food court after hours. Advantage, Ronald has the numbers and unpredictability. The king has stealth and pure meme power. The outcome, if it's a straight brawl, Ronald probably wins with his entourage and slapstick chaos. But if it's psychological warfare, the king's unnerving stillness might just give him the upper hand. Verdict, if it's WWE style, Ronald takes the belt. If it's a horror movie showdown, the king haunts your dreams forever.
So
That is
people have put
ChatGPT.
this. Several people have put this into ChatGPT.
It certainly seems like it.
Yeah. So the numbers don't lie. This is Ronald. This is Ronald
Yeah.
all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Grimace gets involved here.
Yeah. The Hamburglar,
Yeah.
Grimace. Yeah. I think it ends up being a beatdown of epic proportions, but like 5v1. King doesn't go down without a fight. He's flailing around with that
agree.
scepter. He's taking people out. But yeah, it's just the numbers are too much at the end
God,
of the day.
I've never spelled. I don't think I've ever typed the word scepter before.
There's not a whole lot of cause to type the word scepter in 2025.
That C is sneaky. It's sneaky to me.
Yeah,
Sneaky
it is a
like
sneaky
the king.
C.
Yeah.
It is. You're right.
I think Ronald gets hit good by the king, but as he's leaning over the ropes, the Hamburglar gives him a set of brass knuckles, and
Yeah.
it's just it changes the fight from there. So
Maybe Grimace gives him a stone cold stunner or something.
Yes.
So,
Out of nowhere. Oh, God.
Ronald McDonald in our round 2 of fast food mascots is taking the crown from the king from
He
Burger King.
literally took the crown off the king. How
Took
about
the
that?
crown, but not without a fight. And
We
that's
just
what
spent
we
about
love to
20
see.
minutes on that, by the way.
It
I
was
think.
great.
Thanks, Cadlick.
Yeah, keep them coming, buddy. keep them coming. Next, we'll make our way to Twitter, and we'll start off with St. Louis City SC fan. They said Sunday was a much better start to the game, but huge issues still remain. How many games do we go on our losing streak before we need to make coaching changes? 8, 9? Hopefully we don't get to that point. Winning will cure everything. So if we're on an 8-9 losing streak, yeah.
I don't think Olaf's making it 9 losses in a row.
It'd
Yeah.
be tough to
That'd
tough
be
to defend there.
justify. Yep.
Because I can't see you making changes and playing attractive football but still losing 9 straight. Like,
Yeah.
I can't see that happening. So hopefully we don't get to that point, but yeah, I'd say maybe in that range. Let's hope not. Next, we'll go to our man Jeremy Clements. He said Klaus said post-game that Celio is the only guy who can take players on 1v1. Does City have a roster composition issue? That's an interesting question. I didn't see that he said that. I don't know if I feel like Celio is the only one who has that dribbling capability. I feel like Wallen's shown glimpses of it, throughout this year a couple times that he can facilitate. I think it's just up until the last 2 games we haven't really seen it being put into place. And then to your point, a lot
Celio
of it's-
hasn't been playing either.
Right.
So
So, I don't. Yeah, I think it's been an issue just with the wings, and to Dave's point that he brought up in the Tuesday episode, like it's set up to be a counterattacking team, but we just haven't. It's been a wiener dog race down the line instead of what we've seen other leagues do.
And I threw that out there. I don't even remember where I was going with that. Yeah, I don't know if you could judge if you have a roster composition problem until you figure out how you actually want to set up. If you are committing to for the majority of the part play a 4-5-1, then yeah, you got a roster composition problem. But if you want to break out and kind of do what they did at the beginning of the game last week and 3-4-2-1 or whatever the hell that was, whatever the hell you want to call it, yeah, I don't know. I think it's also hard to judge when you are missing 6 starters. So roster composition problem, I'm not ready to say that yet, but it would definitely help to get some people that can score goals, Dave Sperry.
We talk about somebody quiet. This was his year to shine as far as his.
No, he hasn't been quiet.
Oh, he hasn't been. Okay.
He hasn't been quiet.
Okay,
he's
good.
come back to life the last couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
So,
I was worried that we almost bullied him by calling him Spursy so much that he left us alone.
He's still there.
All right, good to hear.
He's lurking still.
Good to hear. Next, we'll make our way over to Instagram, and Mariska Hoffman, 2018, said, "We need a striker. Who will it be, and does it have to be a player from the Bundesliga?"
That sounds like it might be Spurry's alias there.
Mariska Hoffman.
That might be another handle that Spurry has.
Did we block him on Instagram? He had to make a new handle.
Yeah, that's
funny. Dude, I don't know. I don't know if it's a striker. I don't know if it's another attacking midfielder. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Sounds like there could be an attacking mid coming.
Yeah, but how does that attacking mid fit? And I don't know.
To me, that attacking mid sounds like it's going to be another bench player from the stats that they have and everything like that. No offense to that person.
I mean, honestly, what you need more than anything is another responsible defensive center midfielder that is comfortable in possession. I mean, that's kind of what you need when you get Leuven back. Like,
You know what I was thinking about today? Sorry to cut you off, but I almost missed that 4-2-3-1, and just us playing there where you could have Leuven and let's say it's Morales, and Morales just plays defensively once Leuven comes back, and I almost miss having Hartle out wide on that left and letting him being creative out in that space, or Celio out there on the other wing, and then Teutschert right in to where you're almost forcing Klaus or Klaus in and forcing one of those two where you're having this one stay high. I think one of the biggest issues we're finding with Hartle right now is we're trying to have him come back so far back to receive the ball, and that's just not his. He's better receiving the ball in the offensive end and being creative, and he's just not getting the ball up there. So
he was set up in that he was playing the Leuven. He was playing the 6 against Columbus. So
that's just not his game, man.
But I mean, who else? That's what I said. I was surprised that we didn't see Ostrak there, but clearly they don't have faith in Ostrak to play defensively responsible enough. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe, I think that's the next logical move is to get somebody who can, attack more and distribute more out of that spot rather than continuing to run the, same combos out there. Let's get our offensive players in the final third with the ball. It'd be great.
Yeah, to City SC fans, you can only go so many losing games in a row before you have to just say, you know what, I'm just going all offensive, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, you have to do something to get a little bit more creative. Next, we'll go to Tessie_AnKD. They said, "What's up, Dave Wyckoff? Why didn't they review if Klaus's goal was truly offside?" Signed, Tess.
Oh, so Tessa's daughter and Zoe play on the same team. So that's who that is. She's been a longtime supporter. So shout out to the Dawsons. They're also part of our season ticket group. So yeah, that's good stuff. Appreciate it, Tess.
But
you're going to answer the question, Dave, or just going to say?
I'm going to be honest. I was trying to figure out who it was, and I'm going to need the question repeated.
Why didn't they review if Klaus's goal was truly offsides.
Yeah, they just don't have the technology yet to do it. And again, we kind of said that even if you would have reviewed it, you wouldn't have come up. We don't think they would have come up with a conclusive angle to say whether or not it was offside. So they just stuck with the call in the field.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then the last one I have on my end is from our man Fetlord Colton or Colton Cook. Now, this could go. I don't know how he's asking this, but he said, "What is the best snack food, salty or sweet?" So I don't know if he's asking, "What do you think is the best snack food, salty or sweet?" or if he's saying, "What is the best snack food? It can be salty or sweet." Like,
This could keep us here another hour.
Yeah.
So
should we just
question,
say?
Colton.
Should we just say what do you prefer, salty snacks or sweet snacks? That'll shorten it up a little bit.
Well, I like both, and I like
Yeah.
both. Listen, Dave, I like both at the same time.
Yeah, it's clearly the
salty,
superior
sweet guy,
option
yeah.
is the combo.
It is nice. I'm a big trail mix guy.
He loves
Big
trail
trail mix guy.
I like that trail mix.
When I'm on a trip, I'm not getting. I mean, I've had a roller grill item or two in my day, but I'm not. That's not what I'm going for. I'm going for the bag of trail mix, and I like how there's been so much variety in the trail mix space recently. Like, you go into a gas station, a big gas station, like a Bucky-sized gas station, you're going to find a
What
lot
an
of trail
attraction.
mix. You're going to find a lot of trail mix
What
in
an
there.
attraction.
And personally, I like the salty sweet nature of it. And I don't tend to venture away from just the traditional. Give me some nuts, give me some raisins. I do like raisins. I know they're not for everybody, but I like them. And I like M&Ms. Those three ingredients for me are key in a good trail mix. A good trail mix will get me through many a road trip, Dave.
That's a strong the traditional trail mix is a strong combo of sweet, salty, and chewy and crunchy. The one in particular you talked about, yeah, that's good. You're talking about the increased variety of the trail mix space. I've got one that's on the other side of the room that I'm really jonesing for now. It's
I
that
see you staring
Cajun.
at it. Yeah.
It's that Cajun
Sweet and spicy.
sweet one
That is
that
nice.
it's made an appearance on this podcast. And there's one upstairs, Mexican street corn trail mix. So that one is, that one's really good. But the problem with trail mix is it's so deceptive. It's like, oh, this will be a little healthier for me, and then you look at the back of the bag, and it's like, oh,
I know.
a quarter of a cup is the same as if I would have eaten a hot dog. So maybe I
Dude,
should have just gotten the hot dog.
I got a trail mix bag one time. No kidding. This is no joke. We were driving from here to Memphis. It's 4 hours, right? And I'm in the car, and I got a trail mix bag, and I was eating it, and I finished the bag from here to Memphis, right? 4 hours. And I was like, I was just curious. Because, again, like, I felt like, oh, man, it's like a lot of protein. Like, this is probably pretty good. I've got, like, fruit in here because the raisins. like, I'm doing pretty, like, yeah, there's some M&Ms, but, like, there's not that many M&Ms. There were 15 servings in this bag. 15 servings. And each serving was, like, 150 calories. I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot of trail mix.
I mean, if you
Half your daily caloric intake that
I was gonna say, if that was all you ate for the whole day, you spread it out into like 15 small meals, yeah,
Sure.
good for you.
If I was on a trail hiking, it would have made sense. But I was
were not-
sitting behind
you
a
were
wheel.
not on a trail.
I was not. I was burning 0 calories while I was
Yeah.
consuming a
Road
lot.
trips are hard on the Beltline, man.
Oh,
they
they
really
are.
are because there are so many good snacks and things
I know.
in these incredible gas stations like Buc-ee's and Wally's that you just and I'm so conditioned now to when I go into a gas station like Buc-ee's or Wally's, I just want a tasty treat.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. You got a 4-hour trip. Your first gas station you're stopping at that let's just
Is
say it's going to
Buc-ee's?
take you
Yeah,
that 4
sure.
hours.
We'll say my first gas station I stop at is Buc-ee's.
No, because you have to drive to a Buc-ee's because it's such an attraction. You'll see the billboards. They'll start from hundreds of miles away because it's such a place. You don't see that for Quick Trip or any of those stupid gas stations. But let's just say you got a 4-hour plus trip and you're gearing up for it. What's your grab for that trip?
I mean, it's trail mix for me. And
That's all
it's-
you grab is trail mix?
Well, it's trail mix. I like a big fountain soda, but I like the fountain soda. Here's the thing: I got to keep my mouth occupied. Okay, insert
hot.
whatever joke you'd like, But that's the way it is. I like to keep my mouth occupied, right? So when I go for a long time, I like to get a giant soda, like the biggest one they've got, but I don't put that much soda in, and I actually fill it up. The crushed ice, I won't get a fountain soda if it's like just cubed ice. I don't like that as much. It's not as satisfying for me to chomp on. So I get the biggest soda and I fill it up completely. Like if it's like 40 ounces, like it's like all ice, and then I put the soda in because I don't want that much soda. It's too much soda. But like I want all the ice, so I will chomp on that, and that will actually help with the calorie intake because I'm not eating a bunch. You know what I mean, of like trail mix and that. But I just need something to just throw in my mouth constantly. That's what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. I prefer tube meats thrown in my mouth.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay. So if I'm going on a 4-hour road trip and I'm just like, screw it, I'm not caring about calories or whatever for the day, I'm going to set myself up, right, with several different things. And it's probably going to include trail mix. It's probably going to include some sort of roller grill items. It's probably going to include some sort of sweet treat, like either Reese's Cups or Reese's Pieces. And then let's see. And then to drink, I mean, yeah. If I'm on, I'm staying away from soda now. But if I'm on a soda kick, yeah. I mean, a 44-ounce fountain Dr. Pepper. That's the play for me. So, yeah. I can knock out a road trip, man. Used to be a driver. Dave knows. Shout out to the drivers out there.
Professional drivers, Dave.
Professional drivers.
Usually I'll go with some sort of Reese's, like get that like as far as my sweet like chocolatey treat, and then I'll get some sort of like fruity candy where it's like Sour Patch Kids, or right now I don't know why I'm so addicted to these Shackalicious like fruit gummy
like as in Shaquille O'Neal.
As in
delicious?
Shaquille O'Neal, and
God,
are
they sour?
Everything.
They have a sour option and they have just like a regular gummy option, but like some sort of gummy candy. But they're so good, and like the flavors that he has are like ones that I feel you don't see very often as combos, and so it's like, yeah, for me, I've been on. I'll get that.
I like a sour candy. I like a sour candy a lot.
Like some sort of like offset to the chocolatey, some sort of fruity, and then I'll go probably a protein bar to make myself feel better about myself and try and convince myself that,
so we're talking
but I can't
about,
go too much on liquids because, as David knows, I will convince myself that I have to go to the bathroom, and like it'll just play in my head. So I'm very much whatever drink I get, that'll last me the whole day because I'm so like minimal sips to try
the bladder
and
of a
carry it
5-year-old,
out.
Eric.
Well, I'm more just I have a mindset of a 5-year-old where I talk myself. I'm like, you don't have to go. You can make it. You can make it. Oh, now you gotta go. And it's just like you talk.
Don't
like,
hold it.
Yeah.
Don't hold
Now
it.
I have
Buc-ee's has gas
kids.
and restrooms. You could stop there.
Yeah, as most gas
Buc-ee's has
stations
everything.
do.
As
They
every
do.
attraction.
It's a
does.
clear. I would say as far as gas station bathrooms go, Buc-ee's is like top of the mark.
Because it's not a gas station. It's an attraction. People come there from miles and miles long, and I won't
To
have you
get
slander
gas.
Buc-ee's anymore. I do have one more that I did forget about, and it actually comes from somebody special to you. It's Susan Wyckoff. And she
Hey,
said,
Mom.
would be great to see a co-ed episode or episodes featuring the wives. I have no doubt that they would easily hold their own. The only problem might be the time limit you try to set.
We've been talking about this for 2.5 years.
I don't think it's a time issue.
It's never
I think it's
happened.
more a scheduling issue.
Right.
Probably
I mean, this has been on the table forever, and we were going to do one last. What was that, June or July, Eric? When we were in Florida together, and then I didn't bring the equipment with me, so we couldn't record.
That was an issue.
There was that. Yeah, because we were also supposed to have
we were
South
also-
and
we're-
Stan make his appearance on the show
And-
as well.
And we were going to do an international episode too.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing the equipment was really.
It
was
just
really a
doesn't.
downer.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days. I think it would be fun. We've talked about it before, but we just haven't made it work.
Yeah,
I think
we'll make it happen.
Off season, or they won't have
Are you
leagues
going to
cup
push
break.
them to
Some
the
sort
off
of
season?
Well,
I don't think they're going to be
it's-
happy with that.
It's tough to get in
Probably.
covering the game, and then maybe one day is just a full South and submissions. We'll have them.
I feel like the way that we should do it is like just get them set up and let them do it.
That would be
Like
fun.
like that. Just let them go. Like no restraints on them. let them go. They could talk about whatever they want. And then when they blow us away, when they double us up in weekly downloads, we just retire in shame, because that is realistically what would happen.
That would be what would happen. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Especially give a little wine going their way.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you, Mom.
Got the
Great
finger
submission,
guns
Mom.
coming out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from the Reddit world, I will take this. I have to issue a mea culpa here because I didn't get this out. I've been getting the Reddit runs out like day of games, like an hour after the game's over, and I end up with a ton of good comments. And I got it out late today. Don't ask why. Work was a nightmare. So I got minimal comments from people through the city subreddit. Maybe they're just hurting too bad on a Monday. But Tobin Santos did weigh in with a comment. I like what I'm seeing. Celio is back. Klaus scored a couple of highly anticipated debuts. Management is listening. So thank you, Tobin Santos. And I'm sure everybody will circle back around next week if I get the damn notice out earlier. But what that does give us an opportunity to do is to dive deeper into Reddit, into the wide, weird world of Reddit, and deal with a couple of these thought exercises.
Real quick,
So,
Dave, did you get
Yes.
into a kolache Reddit by chance?
there are no Reddits specifically dedicated to kolaches. There are a couple of users with kolache in their name, but no specific kolache subreddits. Maybe I'll start one.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I'll start one.
we'll have to circle back around next week because I'm sure after this,
check all those
it'll
out.
be-
So
yeah.
I picked 3 here, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to go with one.
Thank you.
This is a great one, and it's food related, and it's a perfect way to wrap up this show. Would you rather eat the greatest meal you've ever had in your entire life on the last day you're alive, or tomorrow night? Yeah, this is right out of Fimney Files right here.
This is a tough one.
Here's just a quick. Am I able to eat everything as is on the last day? Like it doesn't have to be like pureed or things. won't
No,
have
let's
to
just
change
assume
or
for the
anything
sake
like
of,
that.
of the discussion that you are in full control of your faculties, that you're going to eat this incredible meal and then get smoked by a train.
That's the answer for me.
Last day of your life.
Yeah, I think so. Because, like, I don't know. I like food, but I don't sit there and, like, reminisce on how great something was forever. Like, if you asked me, like, how was that meal you had that one time? Oh, my God, it was really good. But I'm not, like, thinking about it constantly. I think going out like that would probably be the best way to do it. Now, there are other things I would also like to do just before things, maybe before I kick the bucket. But food would be on that list. So I would say let's go ahead and have that, and then we can wrap things up.
So let me tell you why mine is tomorrow night. And this goes beyond the actual food that is being eaten. You bring up a really excellent point that I don't usually sit there and think about, oh man, that was the greatest steak I've ever had. But what does constantly run through my mind are really fun meals that I've had with people that I really enjoy spending time with.
Agreed.
The one that I will throw out to both of you, there's 2 separate ones. One involving both of you, one involving just David. But Pizza Shuttle in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
It was hotel pizza, but attached to that was such a fun time, and
Right.
it had very little to do with the amount. We were inebriated, no doubt.
There's no
But-
question about that.
Yeah.
But that is just one of my favorite stories, favorite experiences that I have ever had in my life of doing anything.
And we ate
So
it
that's
sober the next day, and it was still really good. So we did
Yes,
confirm that it was
exactly.
just good pizza.
And
No,
and
that's
the
great.
And the other one I will throw out to you, Dave, and this is, I have a handful of meals, of actual meals that I can actually remember in my life. And when we were in New Orleans and we went to Pascal Manali's and had we had like 4 bottles of wine. And
Oh, the place me, you, and Sarah and Katie.
yes.
Yeah.
And we had the barbecued shrimp, and the guy put the bib on me.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Pascal
couple
Manali's.
got engaged, like right
Yes,
behind
the
us.
couple got engaged. I consider that, and the food was good, but I don't consider that to even be like top 10 things like I've enjoyed eating.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But that is so if I'm trying to have something like that, I want it tomorrow night because I want to be able to reminisce on that.
Okay, that's a great answer.
But now at the same time, if I'm going out right after that, there are worse ways to go out too.
Well, exactly,
Like,
right? You've
yeah.
you've hit the peak, so that's kind of my thought. But I like your logic there. That was a great meal. We went to that little hole in the wall bar like right before it and had some drinks
that
there.
was Ticklers.
Yeah, that was a good
after.
place.
That was when there was a lot. Sarah was walking down Bourbon Street barefooted.
Barefoot because the sandal broke, but that might have been a different night. I can't remember, but no, the meal was great. But we were drinking Bonanza. Lots of Bonanza.
Oh, I love Bonanza.
It's great wine. Great wine. Made from Chuck Wagner, who makes Camus. It's just a cheaper version of it. Very affordable. Very good.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go, I think, tomorrow, and a couple reasons is I would want that last meal to be like a full meal. Like, I would want a bunch of stuff with that meal. And I know, like, as you get older, the appetite and everything, I'm hoping this is like meaning like last day I'm older and the appetite just might not be there as much. And then to your point, like, yeah, it's about the experience. Would I be able to enjoy such an experience as much if I am older? And then am I going to enjoy that meal the whole time knowing like the second this meal's over, like like I'd be
Let's
like,
hope you don't see the train
to-
coming while you're eating.
I would trying to be like eat as slow as possible and not really taking that meal in for what it's. I think there's something about, like, to your point, the pizza shuttle stuff. Like, we didn't know we were going to get it that night, and then the experience that went with it and everything that can, like, there's something about like knowing like, oh man, the stories that come with it after. And yeah, I would go.
I think people really underestimate the value and just the good that it does you just mentally to just have good meals and good experiences, and it doesn't matter where it is, right? Like, it could be a 5-star or it could be a dive bar, man, but just how just that's how you build. That's like the building blocks of your life, whether it's your family or your friends, right? Whether it's soccer games or family dinners, like it's all we're this podcast is about soccer, but it's also about life.
Yeah,
and this is one of the, out of all the submissions that I could ever remember, this is one of the ones that touches most on what's like most important in life, right? I think that's at the center of this question.
Maybe the deepest we've ever gotten on this podcast. And
We're
I like
deep,
it.
man.
I like it. A great place to share a meal would be Felix's Pizza Pub. You could
It
do that
is.
with your friends.
Absolutely.
And they bring you the South End submissions every single week on South End Supporters. Eric, where can people submit those?
Yeah, send them on in, and whether you're inebriated like we were with Pizza Shuttle or not, that pizza is good. We can guarantee it.
It is good.
But,
it really is good.
Yes. Keep sending them in. They're so much fun each week. On Instagram, we're South End Supporters. Our Twitter and our Reddit is @SES_podcast STL. Make sure you're following us on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube to keep up with all things South End Supporters.
I want to say thank you so much, as always, to the sponsors that make this program possible. We couldn't do it. I guess we could do it, but we don't want to do it. It certainly makes it easier to have them. That's for sure. So I will say we couldn't do it without them. Of course, the title sponsor, Ready to Live Wellness at 1530 South Kings Highway Boulevard, Warrior Logo Wear, our official swag sponsor, and the official sponsor of our studio. That's important. I screwed that up on Tuesday, so I want to make sure I go back and correct that at 12 East Main Street in Muscuda. They are also the official uniform provider of my slow pitch softball team every Friday night out at Citypark in Muscuda. STL Kolache brought you the match week preview, as they do every single week, and you can find their wonderful kolaches at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in Sunset Hills. Felix's Pizza Pub, the sponsor of South End Submissions every single week here. We just did that segment, 6401 Clayton Avenue in Dogtown, and Elite FT 101 The Game Drive in Glen Carbon, Illinois. It is located inside of the Sports Academy. They, every single Tuesday, bring to you the Elite news and notes from the back post. For the Monday Morning Center back, Dave Wyckoff, for Eric Cole, my name is David Heck. You've been listening to South End Supporters. We'll see you next week. And until then, let's go City.